Hi everyone, my name's Philip and welcome to the Geek House. Hi everyone. So today I'd like to present an interview I had the opportunity to conduct. It's with the director Damien LeVeck of this really awesome horror film that's available on Shudder. It's called The Cleansing Hour. I also got, along with Damien, I was able to interview also the star of the film, Alix Angelis. I had a really awesome time with them. And I really want to thank both Damien and Alex for giving me the opportunity to interview them. I'm just a new YouTuber, just figuring things out, and for them to take time out of their busy schedule and to meet with me, I'm really grateful. So thank you, Damien and Alex, for this. And I hope everyone enjoys this interview. Please like, share, and subscribe. And let me know, give me your comments and let me know how I can do better the next time. So enjoy, everyone. Take care. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining the Geek House today. Today, I've got two very special guests. I recently watched a film called The Cleansing House. It's available exclusively on Shudder. And I'd like to present the director, Damien LeVeck, and the star of the show, Alix Angelis. Thank you both for joining the Geek House today. How are you feeling? How are you doing today?
I'm great.
Doing great. I can
It's
see
the weekend.
I can see Damien's at the airport and Alex is at home. So it's really thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedules to give this opportunity for me to speak to you and talk about the film. So The Cleansing House. I have to tell you, I became a big fan of the house, the movie. I mean, I it's a great achievement to be on Shudder. It's one of the most prestigious streaming sites exclusively for genre entertainment, horror films, and every week they release films, but they also release a featured section on the app. And to Cleansing House was the featured film. So, what does it feel like to be to premiere on Shudder and to achieve that?
Oh,
How does
just
that feel?
just small correction. It's the
Yes.
cleansing hour. That's the name. The
Oh yeah,
cleansing
sorry, the
hour.
cleansing hour. I don't know why I keep saying the house. Yeah, the
That's
cleansing hour.
totally fine. It's totally fine.
Yeah,
The cleansing hour. Well, look, Shudder is really the best home for this movie. I couldn't be happier that we're on there.
yeah,
It's I made this movie for horror fans.
yeah.
It's a horror movie for horror fans. I feel
Yes,
very close to the community. I personally think they are the best movie fans out there. They're the most passionate. They're the most just gracious and sweet and loving people. They love movies and they love horror and they just appreciate everything that we did in this movie
yeah,
in the best way. So I'm grateful to Shudder, and Shudder also the people who are running Shudder are amazing people to work with. It was a great
yeah.
experience, and I hope to be making my next movie with them.
Oh, good. And
Yeah.
question to Alex. Alex, I was seeing. I reviewed your IMDb. This is one of your first horror features that you've done, right? I mean, um,
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 yeah, I did another one like several years ago called Visible Scars,
yeah,
and that was fun as well. But this is the bigger one by far, and gotten a lot of uh, great feedback and being on Shudder and everything. I totally agree with Damien. The
yeah.
fans, that's where you find or where the fans go, and they're just so generous and so like on your side, rooting for you.
What's the kind of fan reaction have you had after the film got released? Have you been have you been getting what kind of fan reactions have you been getting?
I mean, it's all extremely positive, which is so wonderful. Um, the I was just surprised because I don't often work in this genre, how
Mm,
enthusiastic people are. And
yeah,
it's just like such a great community to dive into.
Yeah.
So
All right. So I have a couple of questions. As a fan, I'd like to ask. I always wanted to always understand how successful people in the industry go through. So here's a question for you, Damien. Why directing as a profession? What sparked your interest to dedicate your life to this this avenue, this career path?
I feel very fortunate because I'm one of those people who has known what he's wanted to do for a very long time. Pretty much since
Yeah.
I was about 12 years old, I knew that I wanted to get involved in making movies.
All right.
And it's sort of like the age old tale of the kid who was playing with his parents' video camera. I mean, that was
Yeah.
truly me. I've been making movies since I was a little kid,
Okay.
and I was inspired by the movies of Steven Spielberg and George Lucas and like the big blockbuster tentpole movies that
Yeah.
we all know and love. And I just knew that I wanted to be involved in doing that and entertaining people. And one thing that I love more than anything else is truly entertaining people. I love getting that reaction out of people from like the thing that I've created and put on screen. And I think that's really what drives me, is that enjoyment that I get out of giving other people enjoyment watching things. And that's really why I do what I do. And as far as horror is concerned, I've always been interested in paranormal, always been interested in ghosts and demon possession and that sort of thing. And that's pretty
Yeah.
much what I predominantly write, that sort of stuff. And I just think that genre films are a really great way of sort of exploring the reality that we live in a different way. You can do things in horror that you just can't get away with in traditional like drama.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm focusing on horror right now. I think it's a great way to explore, interesting, complicated topics that maybe you can't do in other genres.
All right. And Alix, why acting? Uh, yeah. What sparked your interest into taking this avenue?
um, you know, I was a really shy kid,
Hmm.
and my parents threw me into like a kids theater camp
Yeah.
really early on to get me out of my shell, and it worked. I mean, I don't know if it worked in real life, but
Hmm.
definitely on stage and in front of the camera, I find that acting is a place where I feel comfortable taking up space and making some noise. And I'm still pretty shy in real life, but obviously I played a demon, so that's liberating.
There was a line in the film. I remember, like when you were asked to sit in the chair and be, to be the candidate or the person who was possessed, and there was a line. It's just like drama school. So did that line inspire from your background? I mean, I'm posing it to Damon because I remember I've seen a couple of interviews and I was thinking, okay, wait, Alix did go to drama school. Did that line get inspired from that?
Oh, the line was when Drew says you did drama club,
Yeah,
which is
drama club. Yeah.
it's I mean it's kind of a joke. It's like something that I did that in high school.
Oh,
So
okay.
I was in drama club in high school. So I was like, it's funny, like, oh, you did drama club in high school, you can act.
Yeah.
uh, so thank you for that. So next question to Damien. Damien, I understand that the cleansing hour was actually made as a short film. What kind of challenges did you have making that short film, and was it the same or more when trying to convince people that the short film needed to be made into a feature? What kind of challenges do you have? And I'm sure a lot of first time directors or right now who are trying to make a name may recognize the same kind of challenges. So what was it, which was tougher, to make the short film or to make the feature, to convince people that you had to make the feature?
Well, making the feature is always going to be harder. I don't know that you'll ever find it to be easier to make a feature film than it is to make a short film. But the biggest obstacle is probably the same obstacle that everybody has to overcome, and that is just getting the money. For the
Yeah.
short film, we raised a good amount of the money on Kickstarter, and that was a full-time job. We had
Yeah.
3 or 4 people working all day long for a whole month to get the money together on Kickstarter, and then I put a lot of money in myself.
Hmm.
And then once we had the money, we went in, we fast tracked it, we got the production put together. That was a lot of work. We shot it over 4.5 days. It was a pretty big budget, big scale short film, so like there was nothing easy about it. Filmmaking isn't easy, but
Yeah.
then I spent a year getting the money together on the feature film. So It was very, very difficult, and financing anything is a challenge. And especially when you put your own money into it, it's extremely emotionally and physically taxing.
Yeah.
I I think you just have to have a lot of determination and intestinal fortitude to be able to do it. And we're trying to do it again now. So you're a glutton for punishment but it's something that I love. I can't imagine doing anything else. So got to keep on pushing forward.
Keep on pushing forward. Question for Alix. Alix, so I'm sure I think you auditioned for this role, and once you were given the go ahead that you've got this role, you read the full script, and did you realize that this entire film was now resting on your shoulders, on your performance? Because technically everything is focused on you and your performance. What kind of preparation did you do to say that I'm going to do this, I'm going to show people something that they've never seen? Because I'm telling you, I saw the film last night, and there were certain angles, the way your expressions and your eye movements emphasize what you were trying to say. So what kind of preparation did you do, or guidance you received, just slam dunk of a performance in the film?
Thank you. Yeah, well, fortunately, I read the script before I auditioned, which is a little rare, but was awesome, because I think, it was smart of Damien and Claire Kuntz, the casting director, let that happen, because you need the context. And I was just thrilled, because, there's a lot of horror that I've read, and this was really exciting. Not only the plot and the story, but the fact that it was two complete extreme characters that I would get to play. I mean, that's actor bait. To be able to play totally off the wall extremes like that in the same film. And we did a lot of work leading up to the shoot on the demon specifically. Damien and I talked about all the different facets of the demon's personality, that it's the devil is in the details, the devil is everywhere, so they can kind of embody different stereotypes, different archetypes of characters. And then Claire and I sat down together for hours at a time and discovered each little nook and cranny of the demon. And then the physicality was really important too.
Exactly, yeah.
What the difference between Lane as a human and what it felt like to be possessed. Yeah. And Damien, this is the example that I say often that was really effective, was this metaphor that he had about a tree growing out of my guts to my extremities and to my arms, this gnarled branches.
Yeah.
That worked for me.
Yeah.
Very uncomfortable.
There was a shot on how there was a close-up of your right hand, and just the movements of your knuckles, I remember. And it's Damien, it's the small things that actually contributed to the overall character. So how does that, what kind of thought process do you need? That shot is important because it's going to emphasize this, or it's going to send a message this way, and these are the small characteristics of that contribute to the performance, right? How do you think of that? How do you come up with stuff like that?
I've been working as a professional editor for 15 years, so as I'm directing, I'm thinking as an editor as well. And a lot of times, whenever if we're in a particular setup, we'll just play a little bit, and Alix especially we would just run a series and just try things in a different way. And I'm looking for those little moments that I know I can sniff out that are going to cut in nicely. And a lot of times it's just, the movement of a hand, or the way that you move your eyes, or something like that, or the way that you jerk your body. And I try and push to have the creative freedom to try different things and not feel like you're confined into a particular paradigm for what a character should be. You need to be able to play and sort of discover it. And in that process, you find those 10 or 15 or 20 frame moments that you can cut in on and then stick into the edit that help round out and give texture and to the cut and to the character and to the movie as a whole.
Yeah, I think it makes it so much more of a visceral experience.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the physicality was like huge, and and my training, like in my drama school training,
Yeah.
was very physical. I went to NYU and we studied Grotowski, and it was how mainly the big focus of the experimental theater wing was like being completely embodied, that you're not just your body isn't just a truck that leads around your head, your expressive face. So that was extremely helpful in my preparation. And then to have Damien's like incredible eye to like pick out those pieces that make it such a bigger sensory experience for the audience. That was awesome.
Yeah, it's I'm as you can see, I'm a big fan of the film, and I've been telling my friends, guys, you need to watch this film, like So, so that's great. So here's a question to both of you. During your path in life to achieve what you're doing, has there ever a moment? Have you ever felt overwhelmed, saying that it's not working? What I'm trying to do is not working. Have you ever felt overwhelmed? And if yes, how do you overcome that? How do you manage that? What do you do?
I'll go first, Damien.
You go first, Alix.
Confession time.
The big question. Yes, 100%. I felt like, what am I doing? Why am I still doing this? This isn't, this is not the way that I imagined my path, but I don't know. It's just, I love acting. Like I said, it's a place where I feel freedom and connection. And that just means too much for me to just casually decide to do something else. I don't want to do anything else. I mean, in the arts, I can see myself doing writing, directing, these things I feel, but acting really is, for me, the best job in the world. It's just, I'll use a metaphor that my acting coach uses, which I think applies to a lot of artists and freelance people. It's like, you just keep pushing the sand and eventually you make an island. and then you can walk up onto the island. And I found that, it's slowly but surely making progress and having success in maybe not the traditional sense, like, or like to the extent of what people think is the top, but that I find artistically fulfilling, and that's what I've chosen to do with my life. So
thank you. Thank you, Damien. Yeah.
I feel that way to some extent probably every day. It's I'm the same way as Alix. I don't know what else I would do. I have to do this. It's definitely my calling. I don't know, I can't imagine giving up on it. But even with my family and everything, I think to myself, like, what's going to happen 10 years from now? What's going to happen 5 years from now? Am I still going to be like chasing this golden unicorn? I don't know. Maybe my mind will change if I haven't advanced anywhere from this point in a few years. So how do I get through it? I have to, I have a lot of faith that, I believe that I'll pray to God, and I'll be like, if this is not what I meant to do, please show me, because like, I don't want to, I don't want to be chasing something that's not attainable, or that's not something that if this is a mistake, I don't want to be. So like, I rely on my faith, and I just kind of hope and pray that I'm doing the right thing. And because I just, it is hard. It is really hard. But I'm very grateful for like all the blessings along the way. And I see that like in making the cleansing hour, there were amazing things that happened, even during production. They were like, I had these moments of desperation that I was pulled out of. And, I see that every challenge challenge is a new opportunity. Every challenge is a blessing in and of itself, because I learn about myself. I learn about the business. I've become a better artist. I've become a better person. And getting down in the dumps and being depressed is not productive. It's not
Exactly.
helpful. So
Exactly.
you have to approach every challenge like it's an opportunity. Every hurdle is something that you should be excited about, because you get to learn how to overcome it and then be better in the end afterwards. So for anyone who's watching this and is feeling like it's never going to happen for me, I would encourage you to see the challenge as an opportunity and find some creative way around it. So if
Exactly.
you're trying to make your movie and you don't have enough money, instead of saying I can't do this, say how can I do this,
Exactly.
and literally just take out a pen and a paper and just start writing down, here are some ways that I could do this for half as much money. Get people to sponsor. Like one of the first big movie that I made in high school was like an AP history project that I did. And I literally went around, I'm from a small town in Illinois. I went around to businesses in town and I said, would you be interested in helping sponsor this movie? And I raised like $2,000
Nice.
doing that
Yeah.
for a high school movie project, So just people want to help out. People love movies too. And when they hear that you're making a movie, they get excited because they want to be a part of it. So
Yeah.
there is a way. There is always a way to get there, and you just have to stay creative in the business aspect of it, in as much as you are creative in the writing or directing aspect of it.
Exactly. I mean, in one of the companies I worked with, our CEO's favorite phrase was, "You are the solution. So what's the problem?" Right? So technically, every problem that was presented in the company, we were the solution. We just had to figure out what the solution was. So yeah, so thank you for
Right.
that. That's very inspiring for anybody who's hearing, to understand that we all go through struggles and we just have to figure out how to overcome it, right? Because that's presented for our own development to face life. Uh, Now, when I was watching the film again and while I was jotting some notes down, I noticed a couple of recurring themes that were happening in the film, and it's dependent on people, whether people took it or not. But what I took away from the film, the themes, and correct me if I'm wrong, they were very heavy on confession, being true to yourself. That I heard I mean, you could see there was a commentary on the church and corporal punishment, kind of thing. And because I was raised in a Roman Catholic environment, and this was back in the early 80s and all that. So yeah, corporal punishment was there in my school. I experienced it, kind of thing. So I could relate to the characters, kind of thing. But am I wrong in what I'm trying to decipher from film, that to be true to yourself, to look into the abyss, kind of thing, and once you do, you're free from all the shackles of whatever was trapping you, and then you can achieve what you want. Any
Yeah, that's absolutely true. I mean, this is really tied in very closely with sort of the influencer culture on social media.
Yeah.
People oftentimes become the people that they're not online. Sometimes it's out of necessity, because they don't want to be the people that they really are.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's out of necessity because they have to create a new persona, just in the interest of producing new content. They have to constantly be on, constantly be making up stories, creating content, whatever it may be. So both Drew and Max in the movie are guilty of this in one way or another, and they have to sort of reckon with like who they really are. Max especially, because he's the one who's on camera.
Yeah.
But absolutely, that's a theme in the movie: honesty, and sort of like the way that social media can sort of taint or tarnish, your soul.
Yeah.
I
Alex,
thought
what do you think? Yeah.
I thought it was sort of a funny conundrum, but that worked. That the monster of the film, the demon, is kind of like a self-help guru in that way. Like, come to terms with who you really are. Seems like a good thing.
Yeah.
And kind of, but that's a little bit what dealing with your own metaphorical demons is like.
Exactly. Yeah.
You have to face yourself, and Yeah, so it feels evil because it's so hard, but maybe it's maybe the demon's a little misguided in his methods, but that's what you were saying, Damien, at the beginning of this conversation, that you can sort of talk about things that we have to deal with in real life in a way that is easier to digest, or that's a little bit entertaining or amusing. I think that was cool.
And that's why I like the horror and sci-fi genre, right? At first it might be it's just a creature feature kind of film, but then when you actually take a step back and view the film, you understand the creature actually represents something that you are facing. You can do it as a straight up drama where all weepy kind of thing. You can do that way and in your face, or you can send the same kind of message in these kind of genres while entertaining people, but subconsciously they're realizing what is going on, and even they might not know they're actually receiving that message. So two things. So that's why I love the genre films, because there's always a hidden message. There's something that's going. You might not like it, you might not want to face it, but it is there. Deal with it, kind of thing, right? So yeah, I just want to thank both of you, because I got that from the film. It says, okay, that's a pretty strong in your face message, and people might not be comfortable in receiving it, but that's the truth. You got to deal with it, right? Face your inner demons and overcome it and figure it out. In a weird way, the demon was actually doing something good in a warped view kind of situation, right?
Yeah.
In a weird,
absolutely,
right?
Yeah.
I feel like he's the hero here, right? Am I wrong? Kind of thing.
yeah.
So here's a question. So any ideas for a sequel? Because of course the ending sequence. Yes, please, Damien, please. There needs to be a sequel, because you just left things hanging, and there's a bigger scope to what you're alluding in the film. I don't want to go into spoilers for people who have not watched the film, but hey, it went in a different direction.
I would encourage everybody who wants a sequel to email Shudder and demand it.
Yes.
Tweet at Shudder, email Shudder, hit them up on Instagram, tell them you want a sequel. If you want to see, if Shudder asks us for a sequel, we will make a sequel. I do have outlines for sequels. I'll just leave it at that.
Sweet, because it can go in any direction, right? So
yes,
yeah, it's really good. So what are your future projects? What are you currently working on? Are you able to talk about it, or is it top secret kind of thing, or?
No, totally. I do have a movie that I am hoping to do with Shudder this year. It's a contained monster movie, which I'm really, really excited about. I love anything with monsters in it. And I've got a haunted house movie that's sort of like The Conjuring meets Midsummer. It's all set in Ireland. It's a bigger budget thing. So those are the two projects that are like most immediately on my plate. Yeah.
All right. And Alix, any details on what you're working on right now?
Yeah, I had a project that I actually directed. It was a short film that went through the festival circuit this past year, which was, interesting because it was all virtual. But it was cool because actually a lot more people got to see it, and I am excited about the potential for making it into a feature.
Nice.
So yeah.
All right, thank you. So I want to thank you for coming on today for this interview. I'm really grateful for this opportunity that you took time out of your busy schedules to give me an audience. And I want to wish good fortune to everything you do. You really truly deserve it. Everything came well. The cleansing hour was amazing, and kudos to Shudder to give you that platform. Both of you truly deserve all the success that you will be receiving, guaranteed. So thank you both for this, and safe journey, Damien. I know you're about to take a flight, and thank you, Alix, for everything.
Thank you so much.
All right, take care.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye-bye.